Hey, Dis After Dark listeners. I want to invite you all to join us over on Scare Zone, Halloween Horror Nights podcast. Scare Zone is a news, interview, history, and commentary podcast all about Universal's premier Halloween event. It's hosted by fans and experts like me, Logan Seculo, former WWE superstar Scotty Too Hottie, and Dis After Dark's own Chris Ripley. Subscribe however you get podcasts and head over to scarezone.com for more information. We here at the show are proud supporters of Dis After Dark. And remember, keep your eyes closed and your ears open on Scare Zone.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Dis After Dark. I am Nick and tonight we are joined by the wonderfully beautiful Mr. Paul Dolan.
Oh, thank you very much.
And also the not bad herself, Amanda.
Hiya.
AKA BostonWhite. How are we doing, guys?
Awesome. I'm so
Yeah.
excited because it's almost holiday time.
It's almost holiday time for some people. It's lovely. Wish it was for this guy. Although saying that, I have been looking about going away to Disneyland Paris next year, and I'm very, very. In fact, you know what? I'll talk about the dates a bit later on. Let's start the show as we mean to go on. And also, actually, the first thing we're going to do on this episode is I am going to personally give a shout out to somebody, a lady called Amber, who is Charmed Hun on Twitter, who said that she missed me in the last episode of Dis After Dark with the wonderful Hunter because I wasn't there. She's the only person of the thousands of people we have to download this show to actually comment. So I'm sure she was just speaking for everybody. But thank you for your concern. And here I am once again. And it feels like, and you mentioned it on the pre-ramble, that we haven't actually spoken together for ages because that episode was recorded quite a few weeks ago, wasn't it? We had it in the can, as it were.
That's right.
So, thank God you guys have got Universal After Dark. I'll start making appearances on that show as well. Don't mind my if I'm making a little bit of noise, because I had to find a very important instrument because the next thing we do on this show is ask, what is everybody drinking?
Right. Well, I'm being sensible tonight. I'm the designated driver, so I've got some English Builder's tea.
It's what Britain was built on.
Yep.
I'm probably not that particular tea bag because I don't think they had tea bags back then. But you know, the concept of tea in itself, I suppose. Amanda, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a strawberry and lime copper bag.
Now we're talking.
Joyce.
Good stuff. I've not had this before, so this is going to be very interesting. But I've got a bottle of a beer. Let me see if I can find who it's from. West Bromwich, famous for their beer, obviously. The West Bromwich, the Himalayan Beer Company, based in West Bromwich.
In West Bromwich.
Yeah,
oh,
of
yeah.
course. Yeah, that famous
Yeah.
one. That famous one, and it's called the Himalayan Monkey. And that is the name of it. So we're going for a bit of an Everest theme here.
I know a Sherpa from West Brom.
It says a beer with an ooh-ooh-ah-ah, brewed in India apparently. It doesn't say it is West Brom. Hang on. There we go. And it's an imported Indian beer. That's what it does say. It keeps saying that, but anyway. Cheers.
Any good?
Yeah, it's quite nice actually. 4.8%, not bad.
Good one.
I do like an Indian pale ale. So, I suppose it's going to be quite news heavy this week because there's been a few things since we last all congregated. He says already trying to pretend he's drunk. Who wants to go first? Does anyone have a preference of leading off?
I'll go first.
Go on then.
So let's talk about Jasmine's new outfit.
I think what's most interesting about this is it's controversial, but not for the reasons that things are normally controversial.
Well, yeah.
In fact, the opposite, really.
Exactly. I mean, I hate it. I'll be real. I really hate it.
So,
and I don't really understand the concept behind it, because I know that it was said that it was to try and give Jasmine a little bit more modesty, but they could have just put a little bit of material under the bra bit.
yeah, I don't really. I mean, I get it. And so, for anyone who's not yet seen the pictures, because there've been a lot of pictures floating around, Jasmine traditionally has had the costumed character has had the outfit that is normally worn for most of the film, really. I'd say probably about 80% of the film, which is her kind of, I don't know, dare you say sexy, kind of crop top and long skirt. I don't know, or is it trousers? Isn't it? It's trousers.
Yeah, it's trousers.
Yeah, so that's been the look that they've always used in the parks as well, haven't they? I mean, it's not like they've changed it recently or anything like that. And they've now somebody has alluded to that it was because of customer complaints. Sorry, guest complaints, not customer complaints, guest complaints about this. But I can't see how something that's been going for. I mean, I'd imagine Jasmine's probably been a character in the park since '93, because it probably wouldn't have been that long after.
Years.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that long after the film had come out that they'd have introduced them into the parks, and the costume's always been the same. So I don't know what has spurred the change on, but yeah, as you kind of alluded to, now it's. It's a completely covered costume, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
it's completely different.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't look at it and think, oh, has something changed? I mean, it's very, very clear that the costume has changed. And Aladdin's changed as well, hasn't he?
Yes.
So he's now in the kind of wedding garb.
Yeah, so... I mean, if they were going to put Jasmine in a wedding outfit, then that'd be a different matter, but this isn't even the wedding outfit.
No, it's like just something they've invented.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
I hate it.
You're very passionate about it. I like it. I like passion.
I am. I love Jasmine, and I hate this outfit, and it's made me really angry.
You should complain to Disney, Amanda.
I'm gonna. And you know what? I'm
just
going to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and I'm going to dress like Jasmine, and I'm just going to let people take pictures of me.
So Mr. D, you've been a little bit quiet there, while Amanda's been ranting and raving and getting on her own soapbox. How do you feel about this?
Jasmine's one of my daughter's favourite characters, so I prefer the traditional look. I really don't like it when Disney tries to pander to the most conservative of the customers. So somebody's complained and said it's immodest, but as you said, it's been there for 20 odd years. It's never been a problem. Why is it suddenly a problem now? Because probably one or two people have complained. Or is it in some kind of reaction to world events, if you know what I mean? Is this Disney just trying to be ultra conservative? That sort of disappoints me when they dumb everything down to the lowest common denominator. So yeah, bring back traditional Jasmine, or dare I say it, sexy Jasmine.
Hashtag sexy Jasmine.
Yeah.
Even change the hair. Like, why is the hair changed? What does the hair do?
Yeah, it's a hair don't, isn't it? Really.
Yes.
It's an odd one. I mean, to be honest, I'm flicking through some photos of the revised look now, and I didn't realise how bad they cast those characters. Like, it's quite funny. Like, when you see Tinkerbell, I always think that looks like Tinkerbell. I always think the people they choose, and it's probably to do with the wig as well as the costume. And Peter Pan, again, I think, yeah, that looks like Peter Pan. But the people they have playing Aladdin Jasmine, just, don't at all. Very, very strange. But yeah, I mean, so to describe the outfit, it's long sleeved. Number one, and I mean, there's no flesh other than the face and I suppose a bit of the foot. So that's about all you see now. You know what? Maybe in some ways, because of where it's set, maybe it's harking to more traditional values that you get in Arabia.
But that's not in the film.
Well, yeah, we know that as well. But you know, you can see how people would associate it to, especially if they don't know. But it's I mean, I still find it very strange that they've done it. But again, this is the same company who had banned Princess Leia merchandise from Return of the Jedi. Now that they own Star Wars, for the same reason, you know. And I mean, that was a very sexual outfit as well. But at the same time, like, sexy risque. I mean, I think that's really as far as you're going. Like, no one looked at Jasmine, I'd imagine, and I'm sure no one went and looked at Princess Leia in the slave girl outfit and was like, well, they're naked. Because they're clearly not. You know, it's a bikini. And, you know, Jasmine's was kind of half a bikini, if anything. So...
I mean, at the end, it was a bit of midriff, that's it.
Yeah. You know what? I think if this was Disneyland Paris, I could understand it. Because of the climate.
If it was Disneyland Paris, she'd be in a parka, let's be honest.
Well, but that's what I mean.
Bloody freezing most of the time.
That's what I mean. I understand, because I remember seeing Belle, and she was wearing like an overcoat type thing. I suppose a little bit similar to what she wore in that Enchanted Christmas thing they did. But they always try and make it themed. And Alice in Wonderland, actually, when she was doing a meet and greet, Alice was wearing had like a blue overcoat on as well. And yeah, okay, you can argue it takes a little bit away from the character, but considering how cold it was and how dressed up everyone else was because of that, it was probably more in keeping and obviously better for the character actor that they were in such an outfit. So I would have understood it for those reasons, but it's just a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah, I have been reading over the last 2 days that Jasmine does get quite a lot of male attention, and not in a good way.
But I mean,
Not me.
So maybe it was guest complaints, and maybe it was the girls to a certain degree as well, maybe complaining a little bit. But I don't understand why it's gone so far. Like, they could literally have just added some material to the bottom of the top, and then that would have been fine.
Maybe it was the wags.
Maybe it was.
Maybe it was the wives and girlfriends that were getting angry with the partners, the male partners, showing a bit too much attention to Jasmine. The thing is, like, I mean, I don't know what that... I mean, I do know what that means, but surely if a guest was inappropriately touching a character in any way, shape or form, they'd be taken out of the park.
Surely.
I can't believe, you know, and also as well, I mean, I can't believe that many people would be that disrespectful, full stop, because there's certain things you don't do to characters, any characters. If anyone knocked their head off a character, they'd be barred.
Exactly.
Guaranteed. So I'm, you know, unless we're talking about stuff like wolf whistling or something, and even that I don't think, you know, maybe it's the Essex boy in me, I don't think it's that bad. But yeah, I just think it's a bit of an overreaction. Dare I say a typical Disney overreaction to that? Like, it's just unnecessary.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, let's see what happens. I suppose we'll know more when Mary Poppins is put into a trouser suit or something.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, we'll see what the future brings.
Doesn't bode well for the belly dancers in Morocco, does it?
No.
Now they're men. Now it's just men.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that would be fun.
Have you seen the new woman that sings in Germany in Epcot?
No.
No.
She is like a new yodeling, singing woman in Epcot.
Oh,
and
I'd
she
heard
wears
about this. Yeah.
pretty short dresses. Like,
Yeah,
they're
but-
pretty short.
Yeah, but if she's not showing midriff, they're not bothered.
Hmm.
They're fine with pins. Obviously, fine with pins.
Wow.
Traded
Oh,
enough.
well. We'll see. Maybe soon she'll have to wear a
Tights.
clown costume. Who knows? We should concentrate on a yodeling, and also as well, if she's yodeling, like, could men not make comments about, you know, a chest or something, and get a pair of lungs? Well, anyway, that's something I'm sure we'll find out in time to come. Mr. D.
Disney Mums panel selection process begins on the 7th of September.
And is your application already in?
It's not, but this would be the first time, really.
Okay.
I've just got too much going on this year. But for those who don't know, and I'm sure there aren't too many who don't know, Disney recruits every year at this time for about 20 people. They don't have to be mums, they can be dads, to basically help holidaymakers by answering questions online. So there's a fairly fierce competition for this, and it's a 3-stage selection process. So it begins with a written question, then you've got to make, if you get through that stage, then you've got to make a little video, and then the final stage is a phone interview. So you guys tried for this in the past?
I have not, no. Actually, no, you know what? I did quite a while ago. About, I think, 3 or 4 years ago now, probably. But I didn't really get anywhere, so.
Do you actually definitely have to have children?
Don't know. I don't think that's essential, no. I think it's more about your attitude and Disney knowledge. Of course, one of the big draws is that if you do get selected, you get to go to Disney World for a training session, stroke holiday. So that's quite a nice perk.
Maybe I'll apply.
Have you tried it before, Amanda? No?
No, never. I just assumed that I would need children.
No, I don't think so. I'm not aware that was in the conditions, but I think it's more about, you know, your personality and your Disney knowledge, your attitude towards helping people. So yeah, that's a good question though.
Mm-hmm.
There must be some terms and conditions about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. DisneyParksMumsPanel.disney.go.com.
Oh, that's a long one.
Just about to. That's what the vicar said to the nun. That's. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that actually, because I wasn't sure where to go for that. So thank you for reading that very long URL out. Well, I'm sure if you Google it, I'm sure it'll come up as well. But yeah, it's handy. So yeah, well, if you're interested, why not?
Get your application in quickly. You don't have long to go.
All right. Do you know when the closing date is?
Yeah, it's the 14th of September, noon Eastern Standard Time. So it opens on the 7th of September at noon, and then it closes on the 14th. So you've got a week from when it opens.
Okay, so effectively, if you download this episode when we release it, you've got about a day before it opens, and you've got a week from that point. Okay, good.
Yeah. So what are you waiting for? Press pause and go and get on with it.
Yeah. Or multitask. Sorry, if you're a bloke, obviously pause it and come back. But if you're a woman, you know, you can fill out a form and listen to this at the same time, because you're good at doing stuff like that. One thing I wanted to mention, because we've gone this far into the show without actually mentioning it, is us. We've had a bit of an update, haven't we, as well? We've had some news. In that we are now a podcast network. So on this feed, sometimes you would have heard Universal After Dark. Once you would have heard me ruin a Universal After Dark, as Amanda will attest. And partly due to that, we have now started a podcast network. So while disafterdark.blogspot.com is still our main website, or disafterdark.com, we also have the afterdarknetwork.com. where you can find this show. You can find Universal After Dark. And when we actually get around to launching it, which will probably know my schedule be later this month, we'll have Pop After Dark, which is going to be kind of like what I did when I ruined that Universal show. It's going to be more about pop culture things, whether past, present or future. So we'll let you know when that's there. But basically, if you want to listen to Universal After Dark, you do have to resubscribe. It is on a different feed now. So we are keeping the shows separate, just like a podcast network. So you can go to the website and subscribe there, or of course iTunes and search for Universal After Dark, or your podcast app of choice, or Stitcher, whatever, and you can find the shows there. And they very often don't contain me. So if you don't like me, if you're not like Amber, if you don't like me, then Universal After Dark could well be the podcast for you. Of course, you might not like Universal, but it's more than just that. It's a good show. It's a good show. And in fact, the first episode of which went out last week, didn't it? And left us on a Mr. Dolan cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever know what the answer is, and I think in some ways that's a good thing. Keeps everyone interested.
Yeah.
Yes, that's our bit of news. So I suppose we'll go around again, because I think everyone's got a few things I wanted to talk about. So as you started off, Amanda, what else did you want to talk about?
So Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party came back on the 1st, and the biggest thing that everybody noticed was that Goofy is not riding his little bike through the parade anymore. He's been replaced by Vanellope.
Now, is this actually true?
It's true.
The only reason I say that is because, and I was telling Amanda this before we started recording, this was going to be my big scoop, because I listen to quite a few podcasts, and one of them is a podcast called Doug Loves Movies. Which, as the name suggests, is a movie-based podcast. It's like a game show, really. And the guest on last week, or the other week, was Sarah Silverman, who voices Vanellope Von Sweets. And they were talking about Wreck-It Ralph 2. And she just happened to mention, because she was asked if she'd recorded any of the voices yet for Wreck-It Ralph 2, because they often record those in advance, and she said no, but she had been recording some audio for a parade, and that it was going to be based around candy, and it was saying stuff that Goofy used to say. So me being me, put 2 and 2 together and made 4, and assumed it was either going to be for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, or it was going to be for Very Merry Christmas. Because I think Goofy rides the bike in both parades, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
I might be able to tell you if he's in the Christmas parade.
Yes, of course, yes.
Maybe.
Well, that'd be a good scoop. That would be a good scoop. Because, it could just be the case that they replace him for Not So Scary Halloween, and they'll keep him for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But does that mean there's an end for Goofy's Candy Co.?
Or is it more that they're reintroducing or introducing Wreck-It Ralph characters? Because another piece of fairly recent news is about Stitch's great escaping forever.
That is very true. I tell you what, for a show that's all about segues, that's a bloody good segue. You should be proud of that. Really proud of that one. That was spot on. So there are rumours, as Mr. D alluded to, that they'll be replacing. And am I right in thinking? I'm sure I read it was the rumours like for a VR attraction.
Yeah, it's like a racer. You know the candy race in the movie. So it sounds like it's a virtual reality race attraction.
Wow. Where
you sit in a little VR car and race against other people. It does sound like it's going to be a fairly low throughput attraction, because obviously there's a limited number of those little carts you can get in that fairly small. Well, it's not a huge attraction building, is it? So the throughput's probably going to be fairly low. But anybody going to be sad to see Stitch go?
No.
The only thing I'm sad about, I'd be sad if Stitch went as a character, but even as a massive Stitch fan, I will not shed a tear over the closing of Stitch's Great Escape.
Yeah.
Just
I don't think many people will.
No, I just don't. I didn't really rate it as an attraction. I mean, I think the Stitch attraction at Disneyland Paris in the studios is much better. Which is essentially, if anyone's not been on it, it's Turtle Talk with Crush,
Yeah.
but with Stitch, and you have to help him escape from a spaceship he's on. So you play like a little game where you shout out directions for him and everything like that, and that's quite fun. And you know, it's all a bit of a laugh and everything like that. And that to me is a much better attraction and more representative of Stitch than Stitch's Great Escape. I mean, Stitch's Great Escape to me is just a bit more like an elaborate. Was it Sounds Dangerous? Was that what?
Yeah,
it was called?
Sounds Dangerous. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
You know,
Yeah, like a.
because it was all
That's
about.
right.
It was noise, wasn't it? But it was also, I mean, the Stitch thing. You also got, you know, it's 4D, so you got. I mean, you saw Stitch a couple of times, but it was mainly in the dark, wasn't it? And you know, your chairs would move a bit, and you'd be sprayed with stuff, and you'd have smells. So it's just a bit
Chili
more.
dog.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the verb. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a bit more like an elaborate Sounds Dangerous. So yeah, I've never been a massive fan. I've always thought it was a waste of that character. And like you say, it's quite a small show building. But I don't know. I mean, it's deceptive, isn't it? Because the pre-show area is quite big.
That's true.
Isn't it?
And I think there are a couple of. I don't think it's just one theatre, is it?
No, I think it's two. I think it's
two. Yeah.
So you know, I don't know. It could be. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do with it. But I think that's a better fit than what they've got there. So yeah, if that rumor turns out to be true, and the Guardians rumor turned out to be true, I think you get a lot of good sources now at Disney World. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed is all I can say.
Yeah. I mean, I actually did prefer the original Alien Encounter.
Oh, that was the only thing that I've ever been scared of to go on.
Yeah.
It used to terrify me.
There was always, you were guaranteed that if you went on it, there would be at least 3 or 4 kids that would come off hysterical.
That was it.
It did scare the little kids. It wasn't particularly in character with the rest of the Disney, experience, but it was a well-themed ride, and it did kind of tie into Tomorrowland. And that's one of the things that people are saying about this new Wreck-It Ralph attraction, especially since you got Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor across the way. It's not really, Tomorrowland is kind of losing its identity, isn't it?
I've got to be honest. I've always found Monsters University to be an odd fit.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think Tomorrowland sometimes can be a bit of a funny one anyway, because, if you look at take Paris's, you've got Buzz Lightyear, that fits. You've got Space Mountain, that fits. You've got Star Tours, that fits. You used to have Captain EO, that fitted. Then you had Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, a little bit loose. And then right on the other side of it, you had Autopia.
Yeah.
And I suppose in some ways it made sense in that it was supposed to be like the motorway of the future or whatever they deemed it as, but that seemed always like a bit of an odd one to me as well. And when you put stuff like Monsters Inc. in Tomorrowland, it just seems a bit odd, I think. Very, very strange. I still miss the Timekeeper, to be honest. If we're talking about Discoveryland or Tomorrowland, that I thought was an underrated attraction. Did you know, Amanda? Because we talked about this before, but long time ago, and probably some of our newer listeners may not know. But did you know what Alien Encounter was originally supposed to be before it was even that?
No.
It was supposed to be based on Alien.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the original plan for the attraction was a similar concept to what they ended up building, but it was going to be based on the Alien franchise rather than their own creation.
That would have been pretty cool. And it wouldn't have probably took a lot more to do it as that.
No, well, I think in the end, I think it was just down to how scary it was going to be. I mean, if you think how scared you were of Alien Encounter that you had, can you imagine how you would have been had it been the aliens from Alien?
Well, that's what I was like on the Great Movie Ride when Alien pops down from the ceiling. I was scared of that as well.
I still hate it.
Yeah,
I still
it's the
hate
noise of it. It's so loud and screechy.
Yeah, I'm a full-grown adult now, and it still freaks me out.
Yeah, I still close my eyes. I'll admit it.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm not. I used to be the biggest pussy on this show, and now I don't feel quite so bad.
Oh, okay.
Somebody shares my pain. I like that. Right, before we crack on with any more news, I suppose it's time to give our friend Wendy a shout. Not literally. I'm not going to shout out to Wendy. She's not here and she won't answer. But to talk about Wendy and Magical Journeys Travel, one of our sponsors, as well as Scare Zone, who you'd have heard earlier on. And Wendy, she'll be the person up at midnight to get those reservations for you, or fast passes, of course. So if Be Our Guest has been a place that's been a bane of your life to try and get before, and you're planning another trip, let Wendy be the one to get that for you. Or the Anna and Elsa fast pass, or even is the Frozen attraction now doing fast passes?
Yeah.
Fast passes, isn't it? Of course. So that one as well, because that one goes quite quickly. And if you mention us, that's Dis After Dark, you'll get $25 off your deposit with any trip package. So be sure to do that. And also cruises. If you're interested in Disney cruises, which we were talking about with her not that long ago, then she can help you out with that as well. Some generous onboard credits. So find her on Twitter at WP Magic Journeys or the website wpmagicjourneys.com and ask for Wendy. So, what other news? I suppose we've gone this far, and I can't believe we've gone this far into the show without talking about Star Wars. Not only are there a host of new Star Wars toys coming out, and I don't know if you've seen, Paul, did you ever see the BB-8 they released last year, the remote control one?
Yeah.
The Sphero one. They've released a new version of it, and it's battle damaged, because of course they have to repaint these things, don't they, to make you want to buy it again. But now it comes with a force band. And a force band, you can buy it with the robot, you can buy it separately, if you've got an old BB-8. And you basically control it using this band. That's a cross between a watch and a magic band, I suppose. But you can actually use the force to push it and pull it along. It makes lightsaber noises. If you hold your hands in that way and kind of move your hands around, they go wom, 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 does all that as well. Very funky. But even bigger news than Rogue One, and even bigger news than a new remote control BB-8 is, of course, that Disneyland Paris have finally announced they're doing Seasons of the Force.
Right, yeah.
And they've created quite a funky TV spot for it as well. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh. I've caught it a few times, mainly because the kids have been watching quite a lot more Disney Junior the last couple of weeks. So they always advertise on there. But, I mean, do you know what they're doing at all? Have you heard about any of this?
Not a lot of detail, no.
It's
a little bit behind on that.
As someone that would care, of course.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's not... Oh, no, I know you. No, that's what I'm saying. I know you would. Amanda, how are you with Star Wars?
Yeah, I'm not really into Star Wars.
Yes, this is really more for me, Mr. D. So, what the adverts show, and there were leaks of this, probably when they filmed the advert actually, they're going to be using the Tower of Terror to project onto that of Star Wars footage.
That was a fantastic sound effect there. You said Tower of Terror and there was like a creaky floorboard noise in the background.
As long as it wasn't the falling leaves.
That was so well themed.
Almost not quite as good as your segue, but pretty much up there. But yeah, so they will be doing an evening nighttime show. Now, the rumour is they'll be doing this. So Season of the Force, I think, is running from the 14th of January until mid-March, off the top of my head. Mid-late March. And I'm echoing. I sound like I'm in a box. And if they, like, during this time, they're saying that they're probably not going to be doing Dreams. So they'll only be doing one nighttime show. And of course, the Tower of Terror is in the studios.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting how they control that. Yeah. Now, they've not released any other details as yet as to what else they'll be doing other than projecting film footage onto the Tower of Terror. But the advert does show stormtroopers walking around, as well as Chewbacca as well, in the studio. So it looks like the majority of it, if not all of it, will be in the studios. Which I think is good, actually, because the studios is always kind of the B-star child, isn't it, of Disney parks?
Yeah, it is.
It's much unloved. So to give it such a big presence like that, I think is a good thing. What's interesting to me is that it's ending around about the time that Star Tours 2 should be opening.
Yeah.
You'd have thought that they've just kept it going, but what the hey. So there it is. I'll try and find a link to the advert, because it is online as well. I've seen it online, but I've got it on telly so people can see it. But
is it fireworks as well, or is it just projection?
The advert just showed projection, but it's probably going to contain fireworks as well, because that's what they do in Hollywood studios, don't they?
Yeah.
It's projection and fireworks. So I'd imagine it's the same. And if it's going to be replacing Dreams, they'll have some firework budget left over. That's if it is. That's not been confirmed as yet. It's just that's a strong rumor that they won't have 2 nighttime shows. So
I wonder if they'll try and add in the extra special effect where the firework almost blows up one of the Disney buses.
Yeah, I heard about that, actually.
I saw that video today.
Yeah, slightly dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's for the same event, isn't it? That's for the Seasons of the Force over in Hollywood Studios.
That's right.
Yeah.
Called it a rogue firework. It was a rogue one.
A rogue one. Of course it was. So I'm kind of at a bit of a crossroads, because I really want to go to Disneyland Paris for the 25th anniversary, which is the 12th of April. But Seasons of the Force would have finished by that point. And I don't think I'm going to be able to go twice in that short space of time. And I'm really, really tempted to go like Seasons of the Force. But I know the 25th anniversary is a much bigger deal. But you can understand the conflict there as a massive Star Wars fan. If it was, you know what, I tell you what, Disney, if you're listening, if you tie in Seasons of the Force with Tron, you've got my money, guaranteed. Sod the 25th anniversary, I'll wait for the 30th. But I'm guessing you won't do that. So it's just a decision I'm going to have to think about a little bit more, I think. Amanda?
Yes.
Was there anything else you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, so Pizzerizzo is going to be opening this fall. We don't have a specific date yet, but I'm hearing the end of September, so maybe it'll be open just in time for my visit.
Ooh.
I hope so.
And if not, you'll miss a day.
So.
Yeah.
So
it looks really cool.
I've only seen a little bit of concept art, but has anyone eaten at Pizza Planet?
Yeah,
No.
a long time ago.
We only ate there once. Now, I've shared a picture before of me eating at Disneyland Paris's Pizza Planet, which used to have the greatest burger in the world, the Pizza Planet burger, which is 2 cheese and tomato pizzas as the buns and a burger in the middle. Now it's just a crappy buffet restaurant that sells slightly average pizza, and that's being generous. But that was more like the American version of Pizza Planet, because it was salads and burgers, wasn't it? Was the main
Yeah. Well, I think the last time I ate there was like maybe 2013, and I just remember being really angry that they didn't sell chips.
Yes. Yeah. It was
like everywhere that they sell pizza, they don't sell chips, so I can't have chips on pizza.
No, one or the other.
Yeah, and I didn't like that. So I had to go and get pizza from there, and then go and get chips from the one that was by the backlot tour.
That's such a British thing as well, isn't it?
I know.
Like if you go into like, sorry, Paul.
I was just going to say that's known as a pizza supper in Glasgow.
It will be, yeah. Well, because the thing is, chips, of course, are Glaswegian salad.
Oh yeah,
isn't it? Yeah,
it's health food. I mean, it's all from the ground.
One of your 5 a day.
Goodness. Yeah,
like Jaffa.
5 of my 5 a day.
Like a Jaffa cake. Because over here, and I think we're the only country who does it. And I mean, luckily it's not everywhere, but especially if you walk into like a Wetherspoons, if you want to walk into Wetherspoons to have food, that is, of course. But you'll get offered things like chicken curry and rice with chips, or lasagna with chips. And it's like, you don't need both pasta and chips, do you? But obviously you do.
Yeah.
The place that I work, it's got a staff canteen, and in the morning we have breakfast potatoes, which is chips, basically. at lunchtime, the same thing is chips, but it's breakfast potatoes.
Yeah, then they're lunch fries.
Yeah, no, it's just chips. I mean, we're honest at lunchtime.
Oh, right.
In the morning, we're trying to kid ourselves on.
Oh man! So I'm going to be honest.
I think that the concept of Pizza Planet was really cool, though. When they first opened it, I remember being like, "Wow, this is amazing."
No, you see, this is the problem, right? And Disneyland Paris had the exact same issue, right? The problem is with Pizza Planet is it's such an iconic part of Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you see everything. It's not like there's a little bit in there. You see them go in through the main door. You see them walk around the restaurant. You've got in your head an idea of what it looks like. When you went to either Pizza Planet, is there one at Disneyland?
Disneyland?
Yeah, I don't think there is one.
Don't remember. No, I don't remember seeing one there, but it's been quite a few years since I've been there.
But both the Disney World one and the Disneyland one, they don't look anything like Pizza Planet in the film. And I think that's a big problem if you're basing it on something that you have seen in a film. You want it to be like that. And
I guess when you're older, yeah. But when it first opened, I was old.
Yeah, I suppose it's
it was sort of it was a token gesture, wasn't it? Because don't they have like arcade games and things like that, or didn't they have arcade games?
Yeah,
they did in the American one. Yeah, they do in the studios, but Disneyland Paris one didn't. It had a little play area, and it had an RC that you could have your picture taken with. When you walked in there, and that was it for theming. But yeah, the American one did have some arcades, so it was more authentic. But still, I mean, a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, we went into the Pizza Planet one, but it was the kind of standard Disney pizza, which a lot of people don't like. But particularly my youngest daughter, she absolutely loves pepperoni pizza at Disney. But it's not the best pizza. No. But it's the same pizza that you can get in Pizza Fari or food courts and things like that. Mm. But hopefully Pizzerizzo will be a cut above.
Well, I've got reservations for Mama Melrose, and I'm thinking of cancelling them so that I can eat here.
Yeah, because it's a quick service, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'd rather not spend the entire day at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Well, it's very hard to, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Well, I booked my fast passes for Hollywood Studios today, and I was like, "What do I get?" Mm-hmm. Like, what to get?
I mean, it's obviously a lot easier to get on Toy Story Midway Mania because there wasn't any problem getting fast passes for Toy Story.
Yeah, it was so easy to get them this time.
Yeah, I mean, even today, our 60-day window opened up 2 weeks ago, but I went back on today and made a few changes because of a particular reason. I'll talk about that in a minute. But we changed some of our fast passes to the studios, and there was still loads and loads of Toy Story fast passes going.
Yeah.
So this third track's really made a difference then.
Looks like it.
Because I remember, admittedly, the last time I went was the year that Toy Story Mania had opened. So I think it'd been open about 5 months when we went, something like that. But you had to be there at rope drop. If you weren't there at rope drop, you would not get in a fast pass. By 9:30, most days you couldn't get a fast pass for the rest of the day. They'd gone for the whole day. And bearing in mind that was open to like 10 o'clock, I think, when we were there. So a lot of fast passes had gone. And that was before you could book them. That was the days you had to queue up and get a fast pass. None of this booking in advance malarkey that you can do now. But is it not a bit odd? Like I was telling my wife about Pizzerizzo opening up, and she said, I thought Muppets was going, and I said, well, I think there was rumours about it, but obviously it's staying put now. But I think it's odd that they're doing it now, a Muppet-themed restaurant, when there's nothing Muppet-related going on.
Well,
Yeah.
there's the new show in the Magic Kingdom. They've just kicked
Sorry,
that out.
you're right.
Yeah.
What I meant was, I should have explained myself better. What I meant is that the movie series is now dead.
Yeah.
There's not going to be another Muppets movie because the last one didn't do very well. The Muppets TV show got cancelled after a season.
Yeah.
So, if you can't do any movies about the Muppets and you can't do a TV show about the Muppets, there's not really any kind of synergy. And Disney's always been very, very big, no matter what the property, on corporate synergy.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have, you think back in the 90s, you had TV series based on Aladdin, Timon and Pumbaa, so the Lion King, Hercules, as well as things like the Mighty Ducks had a cartoon, like all these
I
different
loved the
franchises.
Hercules cartoon.
I don't think I ever watched it, if I'm completely
I
honest.
loved it.
I think I was slightly the wrong age at the time, but they've always been very hot on corporate synergy, and now they're opening a Muppets themed restaurant. As you say, they're now doing some bits in the Magic Kingdom. Is it like the Muppets Live initiative? Is it slightly like that, which they've done before? But it feels like it's too much, too little, too late.
Yeah.
This should have been done 2 years ago.
I think you're right. I think it probably should have been done a couple of years ago. But as a theory, how is this for a theory? I mean,
Like it.
I just don't think they can afford to take Muppets out of the studios right now.
No.
With everything else, and so they've spent a bit of money theming the restaurant. But in the future, when they've got Star Wars Land and Toy Story, if at that point they want to change the Muppets out, it's retheming the restaurant, and at the end of the day, it's a 3D movie theatre, which could be repurposed for something else or just taken down. So I think right now they just need to keep that there, and actually adding the restaurant kind of strengthens the attraction for a period of time, for a couple of years. So they've got a bigger Muppet presence at not a massive cost, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the thing is as well, like, although I'm being very negative, I am a big Muppets fan. So I'm not, I'm actually really pleased they're doing it. I'm just surprised they're doing it. That's the only thing. So
No, I think you're right. I think it is. I think they should have done it after the first movie and made more of the Muppets then, because the first movie was obviously quite successful.
Yeah, that's it. It's no, I still feel sad that the second one didn't do so well, but it just wasn't very, it just wasn't as good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
But you can't expect Disney to throw a pile of cash after one single movie on its own, can you? Avatar. Who would ever do a stupid thing like that?
You mean the film that they didn't even help do in the first place? Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know why they do that either. Amanda.
I love the Muppets, but do kids now like the Muppets?
Well, this goes back to the Tower of Terror theory that we were talking about, the other week.
No,
people still
it's
care
Tower
about
of
that.
Terror.
Huh?
I love Tower of Terror.
No, I'm not saying that. But what the point I was making the other week is the kids really care about the Twilight Zone.
But I think it's
Amanda's
different,
one of the kids, and she's down with it.
She's down with it, it was down with the kids.
But at least on Tower of Terror, you've got a ride that you don't have to like Tower of Terror to be on. Yeah. But the Muppets is a show about the Muppets.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there.
I
think the Tower of Terror is you don't have to know a lot about the Tower of Terror to get it.
Yeah.
It helps, but you don't have to.
I think most of the kids that'll go on it now, they won't know what the Twilight Zone is, and they'll probably think that it's just been made for the ride, but it won't matter to them.
But do you not think that we could take? So we all like the Tower of Terror as it is, right? But could we not take the Twilight Zone out of the Tower of Terror?
Yeah, but why? I mean, if they
why
had another spooky franchise that you could add in there, then
why do you need a spooky franchise? Why can't Disney put their own legacy on it? Why can't they just change the backstory so it's just a haunted hotel or something? Why does it have to be based around the Twilight Zone?
They do.
That's what I'm saying.
It gives it some sort of theming and some kind of heritage, because if they just do like a generic story, then nobody's got any connection to it or affection for it. But at least this way, even if it's only 10 or 20% of the people who remember the Twilight Zone, at least they like it. So
yeah, but it's the license fee they're paying for it.
I can't imagine
That's all I'm
that
saying.
much.
While I'm playing devil's advocate, I suppose, in a way,
Yeah.
because I like the Twilight Zone theme myself, but I'm just not sure how relevant it is. But yeah, there you go. That's that for that.
So
Go on.
connected to on the food theme, Guy Fieri, Planet Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
He's
I
coming
forgot
to
about
Planet
that.
Hollywood.
You know what? We've I didn't think there was that much that happened in the last like 3 or 4 weeks, but actually it's been quite a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about it because for those unaware, Planet Hollywood is becoming. Is it still going to be called Planet Hollywood, or is it going to be called Planet Hollywood
Observatory.
Yeah. So basically, the restaurant itself is being re-themed and I suppose reshaped. Looks like it's going to be reshaped a little bit.
Yeah, to some extent. Although the photographs I saw, it still looks like that. The basic sphere is still there.
Well, yeah, because an observatory is normally generally round, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, before it was obviously a planet because of Planet Hollywood, but yeah, so it's still keeping the roundness due to the observatory. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like inside because did you ever go to? Well, we've all been to Planet Hollywood in downtown Disney. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that all Planet Hollywoods were like that, and there was a Planet Hollywood in Piccadilly, in London, which was like that. I think it was like the second one as well. It was one of the very first Planet Hollywoods, and that closed down about 4 or 5 years ago now, and they moved down the road, literally moved down the road to Haymarket, and when they've reopened there, it looks more like a restaurant. I know it sounds odd, but it's more open. You've still got memorabilia on the walls and stuff, but it's not dark. Well, it's not very dark in comparison. Like, I always found Planet Hollywood was quite a dark place to eat because I suppose of projections and stuff like that. So it's a lot more light. And the Paris one is still the same as the Orlando one in that it's very dark and it's got the cardboard cutouts of like all the famous actors and creatures and stuff around on the ceiling. So it'd be
Did they remember to take the oil out of the gearbox in Herbie?
Probably not.
You didn't remember that in Orlando. Used to drip oil.
Did he really?
Yeah, they put it up there and left the oil in the gearbox.
I did love. What I liked about the Orlando one is because it had the kind of lake around it. Is it had the ship from Forrest Gump, didn't it? And I just think it made it look nicer because there was more things around it like that. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with this observatory. But yeah, I suppose the most interesting thing, even more than that, is the fact that TV's own diners, dive-ins, and drives. Is that what it's called? Diners,
drive-ins, and dives.
That's the one. I knew it was something like that. So yeah, Guy Fieri, who apparently is an arsehole. But he doesn't listen to this podcast, so it's okay, I can say that.
Oh.
And if he does listen to the podcast, allegedly, okay? I'm not saying
nice car.
I've not met you. I think he's got quite a few nice cars. But he's got a few restaurants, so he's got a reputation which is mixed to say the least. If you actually go and read the TripAdvisor reports of his restaurants, you either love it or you don't. It seems to be the Marmite of eateries. But nonetheless, I think it'd be interesting to see what he does, because Planet Hollywood does have quite a classic menu. Like, there are things that are still on the menu now that I remember there being when it first opened in '91, like the Captain
cocktail, gammon steak.
No, it's not a Bernie Inn
with pineapple ring on top. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, you're right. That's Bernie Inn. Sorry. Got confused there.
Other British restaurant chains are no longer available, like Bernie.
Yeah. Amanda's like, what?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, probably best to Google it. In fact, it might be too old for Google. But
Yeah.
so I mean, because I remember my dad going to Planet Hollywood when it first opened in London, and he brought me back a menu because I think you had to pay for the menus as well. And there was like Captain Crunch chicken and LA lasagna. I remember that then, and they're still on the menu now. So it'd be interesting to see if they're going to keep those things on the menu, because I suppose they're quite classic, but how much influence he'll bring to the menu.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's good to have a refresh, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, Planet Hollywood now is not the... I mean, I think, I was reading the other day, I'm sure it had, at one point, about 50 locations worldwide.
Yeah, there's loads, wasn't there?
Yeah, and now there's London, Paris, Peckham. No, there's London, Paris, New York. There's one still around Times Square, downtown Disney. I think there might.
Used to be one in Vegas.
There's still one at Caesars. That I think's hilarious, because there's a Planet Hollywood at Caesars, but there's not a Planet Hollywood at Planet Hollywood. Because there's a Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there has been for quite a while. That used to be the Aladdin. Oh, look, we're going full circle. We're back to Aladdin. But yes, I mean, at one point it was like a mighty franchise. You know, it was rivaling Hard Rock Cafe, and now it's a completely dying breed. So, yeah. But at the same time, I'm glad it's staying. I would have been sad if it was going, because I've always had a soft spot for Planet Hollywoods, and especially the one in Orlando, just because of the look of it and everything like that. So I'm glad it's staying in some capacity anyway. But,
I'm really looking forward to seeing Disney Springs. It sounds like they've done a cracking job of it.
Oh, it looks amazing. Yeah, it does look amazing. I've got.
I mean, at the beginning when I heard about it, I thought, meh, shops and restaurants. I mean, I like downtown Disney, but actually, I'm quite looking forward to seeing it now.
Oh, there's one at Goa.
Yeah?
Yeah, Planet Hollywood Goa. Orlando, Niagara Falls, New York, London, Vegas, and Disneyland Paris. They're the only ones left. And in fact, I said 50. I might have been shortchanging. It might be more than that, actually. Loads. Almost one at Liverpool One, Amanda. It was planned and never opened, so there you go.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah. It probably had the wheels taken off it or something as soon as it opened.
Oh, shut up.
No Craig to defend you.
Yeah, Craig can't defend me today.
Yeah.
Get your Liverpool puns in
Herbie
there.
might have had the oil in the gearbox, but he didn't have any wheels.
Oh man, but no, Disney Springs looks awesome. Glad Planet Hollywood's there. I've got to say though, I think I'm actually quite. Next time we go, I think we'll have to make a stop at the T-Rex Cafe, just because my daughter's obsessed with dinosaurs. Saying that, she was obsessed with Frozen a year ago, and she's only just started to like it again. So, who knows what will happen by the time we get back out there? But hopefully, she'll still.
I love T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, but Ash hates it, so she doesn't let me go.
Yeah.
She thinks it's too loud.
It is loud, isn't it?
But
it was pretty good though.
yeah, I really like it, but she likes it better there than Rainforest Cafe. She will not even go into Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah, I mean, Rainforest Cafe is okay, but do not go to the one in downtown Disney or Disney Springs.
No.
If you're and mind you, the one in the Animal Kingdom isn't going to be there for much longer, is it?
Is it not?
I don't think so, but that is the better of the two.
That's the one that I like going to.
We've not been to the downtown Disney one or Disney Springs, but we did go to the Animal Kingdom one, and I thought it was pretty nice actually in there. As Rainforest Cafes go, we actually went to the London one recently for my daughter's birthday, and I've never been so ripped off in my life. That's how I felt anyway. But it was like 20 quid for a main course. And I was like, it's not, I mean, I suppose you're going in there for the rainforest rather than the food, but the food was just average kind of American restaurant food, nothing exciting really about it, but you was paying an upcharge because of where it was, and I wasn't very impressed. I know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid, I know London prices are more expensive. I used to work up there, well I still technically do, but it just seemed like it was more money on top just for the fact of the theming, and just didn't really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, yes, I've not been to Disneyland Paris one though. Maybe next time. But
I just think when you get those sort of really popular franchise restaurants like Planet Hollywood or Rainforest Cafe, when you get them in a tourist destination, they're so busy. And that's the problem with the Downtown Disney one. That was always much, much busier than the Animal Kingdom one. It becomes kind of hit and miss, you know. They're turning over the tables so fast that sometimes the service is a bit patchy, and then, you know, the food as well. So, you know, we've eaten in the one in Downtown Disney at least twice and never had a great experience. So, yeah, don't really recommend that one.
You could do what I did, which was on the way up to London, is get some really bad stomach bug. I never found out it was food poisoning or not. So I couldn't actually eat in there because that saved me about 22 quid.
I'd rather pay the 22 quid, I think.
Well, I mean, the thing, bearing in mind, I don't
Than have the stomach bug.
I think I didn't eat for about 2 days after that. But it wasn't eating there. I didn't get a chance to eat there because I got there and I was like, there's no way I can touch a plate of food. But it was enjoyable to watch everyone else eat. I just couldn't. Mr. D, you did say something about changing dates.
Yeah, so the reason why we changed our Fast Pass dates was because, as I previously mentioned, we're heading for Florida on the 27th of October. Today, I was devastated to read on the Disney Park blogs that Rock and Roller Coaster is going to shut down for 2 weeks, starting on the 27th of October. Perfect timing.
Do we blame Shanghai for that one?
One of our favourite rides. Well, it's only closing for 2 weeks, so I can only assume there's some kind of maintenance that needs to be done on it, which is fair enough. I work in that sort of business myself, so I know that you got to do maintenance. It's just unfortunate. My only slight hope, Star Wars reference there, A New Hope, is that if it does open on the 10th, that's the day that we fly back. So I switched my fast passes so that we're going to be in the studios on the morning of the 10th and the evening of the 9th, just in case it opens early, some kind of soft opening. So it'd be good if we could get a go on it before we go back, because we do like it. It's one of our family favourites, that one.
That's some good planning.
Best I can do, Amanda, under the circumstances. You've just got to roll with the punches. Yeah. But my daughter, who's I've mentioned before, she's going out there to work as a cast member. Quite exciting. She got her email this week to tell her which of the accommodations she's going to be staying in. But then on the bottom of the email, it said you're enrolled in the Traditions class on the 13th of September. And for anybody who knows what that is, Traditions is really the first class, I think, that a new cast member goes through, which explains all about Walt Disney and how he started the company and the values of the company and the history of it, etc. So for her, that's quite an exciting thing, and she's really looking forward to that now. She leaves on Saturday this week.
Oh, wow, how exciting.
That's what Hunter was talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Slightly jealous.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I'm her dad.
Maybe you can get her like a digital recorder so she can record the audio for us on the sly.
I don't know what they would say about that.
Yeah,
if Disney are listening, no, don't worry, we're not going to do that.
We'll just give it a different name. It's fine.
Yeah.
Now, there's just one last thing before we go that got flagged to my attention. So this is kind of breaking news, actually. This only got broken today. And it was sent over to me by our dear friend P-Dubs, who is in the Isle of Wight at the moment. So, Mr. Curtis Allen, if you're listening, as this show goes out, I believe Paul's still on your island. I think you've just got back home. So if that's the case, look out for him. That's the best I can say. I can't give you his location, his exact whereabouts, but the Isle of Wight's not particularly big, is it? So I'm sure you'll bump into him. There you go. Go and harass him.
That's what people from America say about the whole of Britain.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they think we all know each other.
So have you met the Queen?
Yeah, we met the Queen.
Got that quite a lot, yeah. So, alluding to what I was, or referencing what I was talking about earlier, Shanghai Disney had just announced a brand new area called Tron Realm. The Chevrolet
I thought you might mention
Challenge. Yes. It's going to showcase concept vehicles, driving simulators, and state-of-the-art design technology, as well as more things. Now, Chevrolet have released or are releasing a car that's kind of Tron-inspired, aren't they? It's got lights on it. So there's
That car's got lights on it.
Yeah, I didn't just mean at the front and the back. I mean down the sides.
Okay.
Although your car would also have lights at the front, at the side as well. But these are slightly longer ones than the little lights you've got on the side of the car. So it makes you think, is someone high up in Chevrolet a fan of Tron? So it says that it's located near the Tron Light Cycle Challenge attraction and is accessible from the Tron Plaza. And showcases 3 state-of-the-art concept cars. At the press release explains King Yi, I believe, the centerpiece of the Tron Realm is a light runner type Chevrolet vehicle. Ling C features exceptional electrification connectivity. So, what's that, a USB connection?
Could be.
And Yongsu is another hyper-fast vehicle boasting an innovative sound energy propulsion system. So it looks a little bit. It looks a little bit to me like Launchpad, but like a more futuristic version of that. If people remember that from the end of Star Tours. But I'm just excited for more Tron stuff. So I'm just about to get on my soapbox. So hit my music.
It's Soap Dishes Sauce!
And I'm glad you gasped there, Amanda. Really well-timed gasp when I get on top of my soapbox. So, Disney have built a massively popular Tron attraction in Shanghai. And already, so popular is the area, they've expanded it. And yet there's still no Tron 3. Now, if this summer has taught us anything about films, is that films are no longer making their money in America. If anything, they're making it overseas, especially China. Did you know that Warcraft, I think, made about 70 or 80 million dollars in America, but made over 240 in China?
Wow.
No, I did not know.
It's a massive, massive market. They're actually talking now that a sequel to Warcraft will occur, but will possibly only be released straight to video in America.
Wow.
Because of it. And that's why films now are having more Chinese characters, or they're putting more Hollywood films in Chinese films. Like Matt Damon's got a big Chinese epic coming later this year, because it's now a really big, powerful marketplace. So if China loves Tron so much, and I love Tron so much, where the bloody hell is my Tron 3?
It's not your Tron 3 though, is it? It's where's the Chinese's Tron 3?
Well,
you'll get it straight to video.
Straight to video.
DVD. Yeah, DVD. Sorry.
Well,
straight to Betamax.
If only I was so lucky, I'd definitely watch it on Betamax. But as Captain Picard said, Disney, make it so.
Yeah.
No Tron 3 and decent Tron rides that I can't go on make me mad. Bring it to Epcot. Yeah, I suppose, why not? Every chance to, if they keep saying about these rides they're going to put. To me, I think a Tron ride would go really well in Epcot.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's perfect theming, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially, I know we've got Test Track, which is essentially a Tron rip-off anyway. But I think there's legs there. If the ride's as good as they say it is, why not? Could do. Going to
have Guardians of the Galaxy, aren't we?
We are. Already looking forward to that one, I've got to say.
Yeah. I will miss Ellen and Bill Nye, but...
Well, don't worry, Bill Nye's getting a show on Netflix. So if you want to keep up with Bill Nye, you can watch him on there, and I think Ellen's on ITV2 or something. Mm-hmm. I'm sure, Amanda, can you fill us in where we can watch Ellen?
I don't know. I just watch it on the internet.
Well,
Oh.
she's Dory anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
She'll be around for a while.
Star of the biggest film of the year, I believe.
Yeah.
Finding Dory. I think it's broken that record now.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think on that bombshell, I think we should call it a night. So thank you both for joining us.
Pleasure.
Thank you all for listening and downloading, and please continue to do so. As I said, check out the After Dark Podcast Network. Listen to our sister shows, Universal After Dark, and when we release it, Pop After Dark. And we'll see you all, I don't know, soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Right, so hang on, just before we do go, when are you off, Amanda? Not exact dates, we don't want people trying to steal from you.
End of September.
End of September, and you Mr. D, are about another month away, aren't you? So
Another month, yeah, end of October.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get some more shows in before then, so don't you worry. But see you soon.
Ta-ta now. Bye.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.